people have been underestimating the dangers of flu before COVID. And then what happened in the pandemic is that we kind of got distracted by COVID. And indeed, there was a period of time where COVID just seemed to dominate everything, like the viral respiratory landscape too. So it wasn't that flu truly disappeared, but it went so low under the radar. And also because behaviorally, we were doing a lot of things actively to sort of protect ourselves from infection. That helped with all the respiratory viruses. Hard part of it is that nobody really wants to live that way all of the time. And now the respiratory viruses are kind of probably trying to reestablish some semblance of normalcy for themselves, and they have to duke it out in that soup that exists out there. So it could be that to some extent, people have underestimated influenza worse than they have historically, sadly, and we have seen vaccination rates go down for influenza over the last year or so, particularly in people who are 50 and under. So FluMist Quadrivalent's been around for 2 decades. It's the first and only intranasal flu vaccine. It's a live attenuated vaccine, which means that the flu viruses in it are live, but they are weakened. So they can't cause a true influenza infection, but they can in the nose and back of the throat replicate, so that it stimulates an immune response where the virus naturally enters your body. But once it gets down below your throat, it's too hot in there for the virus and it just dies. So it's delivered via the intranasal route as opposed to an injection. And the quadrivalent just refers to the fact that there are 4 different influenza viruses that you will be protected against when you take that vaccine. And that's really how, at this point in time, all influenza vaccines in the United States are quadrivalent, meaning they protect against 4 different flu strains, 2 different A strains and 2 different B strains. First of all, FluMist was a game changer when it first got approved, a couple decades ago, because again, it was a needleless immunization against influenza, and it's remains the only one like that. We submitted our supplemental biologic license application, so it's a supplement to our existing approved FluMist to enable the delivery of that flu vaccine by not only healthcare professionals, but also by an individual or a caregiver. So if the FDA approves this, what it will do is nothing different to the current ways that people can access FluMist now, i.e. at healthcare settings, so doctor's office, pharmacy, and it'll augment that by enabling people to receive a delivery of the vaccine to their home. And for individuals who are between 18 and 49 years of age, self-administer it. And for those who are younger, a caregiver can administer it to them in the home. So it widens the options for accessing flu vaccine in a brand new way. Not only do you not have to receive it in a healthcare setting, but you can actually, if you're old enough, do it for yourself or for your younger kids. Like, for example, your 7-year-old, you could give it to your 7-year-old. We expect in the first quarter of 2024, and if we are approved by the FDA, then we would expect to be able to supply it for the 2024-2025 flu season. First of all, we are very excited about the potential to have this approved. We are committed to vaccinating as many eligible patients as possible to reduce the burden of this serious and highly contagious disease. There's certainly an ongoing need to improve access to flu vaccines. And as I mentioned, the vaccination rates for kids and adults under the age of 50 declined in the 2022-23 season, really at a time when influenza was starting to go back up after a brief pause during the pandemic. People are busy. People are overscheduled. They have a hard time managing all of that with a family in particular, where they may have to receive vaccine in more than one healthcare setting. This is a way to really help people take healthcare into their own hands. We know from the experience during the pandemic with COVID-19 nasal swab tests that people can do it. People want to take their healthcare into their hands. We want to empower people to do that. And we're really trying to innovate on the patient experience and again, meet individuals where they are and empower people with the ability to take control over their own healthcare.